Yeah, yeah. What they saying? I'm so divine, I'm so divine. Imperfection, perfection, my presence shines. My mental is parasailing maritime. They say I'm destined to read the palm line. Yeah, I'm so divine, I'm so divine. Imperfection, perfection, my presence shines. My mental is parasailing maritime. They say I'm destined to read the palm line. Yeah, I'm so divine.
Welcome to episode 11. Today we're going to talk about MLS versus off-market properties. What's going on, fellas?
Episode number 11. Get DT, you still with us?
For now.
For now. Welcome, H.G.R.G family.
I know you a flopping moment.
We might have options, guys. We might have options.
Free agency
is a real thing.
You can't get traded over here at H.G.R.G.
The deadline is November 2nd.
So guys, I want to speak about the MLS versus off-market properties. Speaking of MLS, DT, what's that stand for?
Multiple listing search.
There you go. Multiple listing services, multiple listing search. With that being said, that is something that's very public to MLS. All right. So a lot of people have access to it, and with that comes competition. But I kind of want to dive into the MLS and really go in depth on what the MLS does, what it provides, how it works for realtors, and how it works for home buyers as well. So DT, if you could take over, I'd appreciate that.
Got you. So are we doing the comparison up front, or are we just diving into MLS first and then
let's dive into MLS first, and then we'll switch over to off market.
Fair enough. So the MLS, excuse me, obviously for people who are purchasing properties, they have realtors. They set up searches with their realtors. The realtor basically asks you, what are you looking for? Type of property. Do you want a single family, 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom, single car garage? How much land? How much square footage, town, city, state. They could set up that search for you in their, via their MLS, and then they'll send you emails with searches that come up with the criteria you're looking for. That MLS is accessed by those realtors because their brokers and or brokerages pay for a service, right? So when you take your realtor's license, you pay, you pass the class. Now you got to pay for access to that MLS system. Once you pay for that, now you have accessibility to be able to list properties on that MLS system. Your broker is kind of the license in which you use for the avenue, right? You drive down that avenue in order to drop off your listings via the broker or your license. You list them on the MLS. With that said, now they're listed and they're for the public, for the masses all over the world to see. So obviously, once you have an interest in a property or properties and you giving your realtor what you're looking for, they create that search. With that said, or you could do it by yourself. You can go on like Redfin, Zillow, Realtor.com.
Those are the guys you're saying that I can do right now off an app. Yeah,
right now you go on your app and they pay also a fee to be able to access what's available on the MLS. Which is very, very public, right? So there's other places in which we'll dive into later that you can't just be a part of the MLS and have access to. There's different places like auction.com and off market stuff, in which we'll talk about, but MLS specifically is something that you kind of pay a fee into. MLS will not allow you access unless you pay a fee for that. So to your point, that's what that looks like.
Well, man, I'll tell you what, you practice that. Because
I don't know. I practice it, but I live it daily.
This is
my daily life.
Right off the top. Yeah. And this guy nailed that. Great points there, DT. So just Jerry, I guess I would ask you, as far as the MLS, what's some of the pros there, with having the MLS at your fingertips?
So like Zillow and all these apps that they give to you, everybody can see it. So, and you could be close to a realtor, and realtor can do certain things for you. He could be your eyes and ears. He could do the walkthroughs for you. He could, because all you see is videos or pictures. You're not really 100%. So he could
Great angles.
Yeah, at great angles, absolutely. Yeah. And he could be your eyes and ears, meaning touching and feeling. So he could go there for you, give you a list of what he thinks, or the MLS, the property on the site was there for 100 days. Give me an example. I'm giving you an example. For there for 100 days, he might be able to tell you, hey, we could get it for this price because this it's been there for 100 days. Yeah. So a realtor helps you out. He just gives you a little bit more of information that you might need. So I would say it's a pro because you may not be involved with it. You may not know exactly what to say, what to do, and he can help you out with that.
All right. So usually what you're saying is that, usually you have access with the to the MLS with a real estate agent. All right. So that real estate agent is an add-on to the MLS where you can also utilize them and have them go ahead and be your eyes and ears and figure out things and see things that you wouldn't see through, an app that you would just do a virtual walkthrough for or just see beautiful pictures.
Yep.
So that's absolutely correct. Nothing wrong with that at all.
Great point.
Really. So with that being said, with the MLS, that's what a lot of people are used to. Like I said earlier, they're used to seeing that, especially with all these apps. It serves like the MLS as well. And they're able to see things. But when you get the true MLS with a realtor, you can utilize them. Right.
Yeah. So to kind of dive into that a little bit deeper,
deep dive, ladies and gentlemen.
A quick real example on Zillow or on whatever app you're looking at, right? Not that we're advertising for them, but we're for all that as well. But just for example, you see a property that comes up 101 First Street. Listed for $100,000. You look at the property, you like the pictures, you see the rent roll, it makes all sense for you, right? You don't know what the neighborhood looks like. You don't know what the actual details of the property are, right? You don't have access to showings. You want to walk through, you want to see it. You contact the realtor. They can either do a showing for you virtually or in person. And as well, they can tell you whether or not the numbers make sense. Does the numbers they have on paper here, what they're going to get for rent, does that make sense to the listing? That's all, tangible things that a realtor can give you along with the MLS. Plus, codes. If you're in the market that the property's in, the property came on the market right today and the market you're in is hot. And if you don't see it within the first 24 hours, you may lose the listing. But that realtor has access to that MLS. You contact that realtor. You want to see it today. Okay, here. I'll meet you there at 4:00. I have the code. They come through. They let you in the property. You walk through it. You see it. You land the deal.
Yep. Especially with today's temperature. Yeah. So you could walk upstairs. And by the time you come downstairs from that showing, it's sold already.
And nowadays, people are buying it on the phone.
As we know.
Yeah, absolutely.
We know, right? Yeah.
So, and that's a real thing. And that's a real thing. You have to be prepared for that. So you can't, whether you're a first-time home buyer, you're an investor, it's just, that's the market now. It's just what it is. So you got to, like I said, like just Jerry said, you have to have eyes and ears, boots on the ground, so that way you know how to move accordingly and you move quickly and swiftly. You got to. The competition is fierce now. So and don't let that deter you at all. Don't let it deter you at all.
You just got to be on your P's and Q's to get on it. Because nowadays they jumping on it before you even look at it. So
that's the MLS side of it, right? Right.
That's where team comes in.
That's where the team comes in. Absolutely. Absolutely. So like I was saying, that's the MLS side of it. Now the off-market deals.
Which we love, to be honest.
What?
Tell me why you love them. Just Jerry.
Oh my God.
What?
Tell me why you love them.
Off-market deals. Nobody sees it but you. Who your realtor? What connections you have?
Realtor and off-market in the same sentence?
Absolutely. They give you. They're definitely involved. somewhere in how they're definitely involved.
Right.
But the connections you have, the realtors you have, they get deals without knowing, no one really knowing it's private deals. And if you have the right connections, oh man,
that's huge.
It helps you.
I like what you just said, Jerry. I don't hear that much. You hear off market, you never really hear private deal. It really is like a private deal.
It's a private
select few know.
Right.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
If you're really lucky, only you know. But I mean, the chance of that is slim. But just very few know.
I'll tell you an example from our lives. My realtor gets some off market deals. He contacts me first because he knows we buy very fast. You know that. You guys know that. We buy very fast. We buy. So he knows it's pretty much a guaranteed deal. If it fits our numbers, if it fits our market, it's pretty much sold if he calls us. Right? So he calls us first. Now he also says, if you do not want this deal, I could get to two other clients or three other clients.
Right.
And then after that, it's free fall.
Assuming he gives you a window, right? Hey,
correct.
The deal. You got an hour window to analyze the deal. You let me know if it fits your, criteria. If it does, call me back within an hour. If not, I'm going to assume that it's not for you, and I'm going to move elsewhere.
Correct. Right. And those deals, so MLS deal probably 50, 60, 70, 100, whatever it is. The off market beats that price by like 20, 30%. So our off market deal for us is a beautiful, beautiful thing because we would get it first and we would get it cheaper. Not all the time, but majority of the time it's cheaper.
That's a good point. Point.
And you want to get it. That's kind of, it's funny you hit right on that. You want to get it 20 to 30% lower than market value. That's the sweet spot. That's definitely what you want to do. So it's great that you say that and you inform people.
Absolutely. And even in this
market, because it's off market, you want to pay top dollar for it.
Right. But even in today's market, right? If you put if you get it at market value, even if it's not 20 or 30% less than market value, in today's market, if they were to put it on the MLS for the same that they put it on the off market deal, it probably will go for 20, 30, 40, 50,000
in this market.
You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't necessarily have to be 20 or 30% less than market value. It could be 20 or 30% less than it would go for in this market today.
Correct.
You would love, trust me though, you'll love it a lot more if you can get it for 20 to 30%.
100, right. Yeah.
Lower than market value.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. So, and you were saying, the connections that you have.
Correct.
Yeah. And it's not a real estate term.
It's really based on connections because, if you're not really involved or really not in tune with real estate or the connections, it's very hard for you to fall in off market deal in your lap. So
where does H.G.R.G fall into that category?
You answer that, brother, because we in there. It's definitely in there, brother.
And I love it, and I smile so much, and we can go on to this for days and days and days, because this is really what we do. Right. This is really what we do. Off market deals, on market deals, MLS, not MLS. And, negotiating those things for you, analyzing them, producing them for you, getting it. That's we where do we come into play on every aspect of that? We have endless stories on it because endlessly we go through it.
And a strong team.
Right. We built all of our portfolios, all of our, success, our pyramid is derived off of what we're telling you, and
absolutely, brother.
Skim through that. I don't want to just keep giving information. And, it sounds great. Where do I go? Who do I go through? Obviously, why we do a podcast, and that's why you're hopefully stay in tune. But I want to make sure it's clear. You want that? This is where it's at. This is what we provide. This is what we're trying to provide. And
we got something coming.
Yeah, every aspect. Whether it's on market, off market, host, the whole 9 yards. Everything we talk about is because we have experience in it. We can provide that for you. We will provide that for you, and not just do it in a form. Do it in the highest form.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
For sure.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I definitely agree.
And that, like you said, I was touching on something really quick when I said that what you said was not a real estate term, but I like how you said it. It's private deals. You know, you're not going to hear that as a real estate term, but the fact of the matter is it's as private a deal as you're going to get. You know, and it doesn't have all the eyes on it.
Yep.
It has limited eyes. Like you said, if you have real good connections, you have guys that maybe might give you first dibs at it. Small window, but at least you know you got first dibs. And you go, hey, listen, you got a couple hours to figure it out. If it doesn't fit you, I have to move on. All right. Because at the end of the day, this is all business. So they got to keep moving.
Yep.
You know, they got to, hey, listen, whether we could do it or not, this is the time I give you.
Yep.
You know, and then you can still come back to me. Just can't promise anything. But this window, I'm promising you.
H.G.R.G doesn't have an hour though. We got a little bit long. We got a little bit more than that though. I just want to let you know that we don't have that by an hour. But,
no, it's 24 hours.
We got a comfortability with our team that we don't have an hour window or 24-hour window.
You know, we could talk like that now.
Oh yeah,
you're right.
We have examples, my man.
A few years ago, we like
had our window.
How do we get off market deals?
Yeah, we've had those come to Jesus moments where it's like, yo, bro, we got 10 minutes. It's and I'm talking about they're texting me right now. What are we doing? Like
that is true.
We know
100% true.
No is no. If it's yes is yes, and we got to send funds right now.
Yeah, and we got to secure it. Yep, absolutely. Right, I remember those days.
Right. So DT, as far as off market goes, give us some jewels here as far as off market goes. I know that you love off market as well. You know, we're definitely not opposed to MLS. So I want to be very clear here, you know, and take that stance that we do and like everything.
Yeah.
So, but when it comes to off market for you, tell me more.
Tell you more. So we obviously H.G.R.G has experience daily with both sides, right? I would say H.G.R.G is more invested in the realtor portion of it because that's part of the team. Right. But we do have a very large portion of our investors that come to us specifically for off-market stuff, because there's a large portion of investors that are not really interested in MLS because, hey, man, that's public information. I have access to that. Doesn't really mean that much to me. But now anything you have off-market,
give me the deals.
I need
give me the deals.
Yeah, I need that. I need that part. So, you know, we have a large part of our portfolio that, you know, comes to us for, you know, that advice. And, you know, on the off market side, when it works, it works.
Can I stop you real quick?
But
it's fine. I apologize. But I just wanted to say that you do have those people that come here, those investors that are like, hey, I just want off market. But that's why we're believers in both MLS, off market, because I mean, that sometimes, you know, every deal that is out there may not fit an investor and they may have to use the MLS.
Yeah.
So, and they may find one of those off market, maybe one a year that works for them.
Yeah.
You know, that works for them.
Yep.
So everyone comes in with a different mindset. Everyone comes in with different goals.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why it's good to use both, because if you're an investor that wants off deal market,
that's a great example. That's a great example.
Right. If you're an investor that just wants off deal markets, you may be sitting around for a little bit, you know, and the last thing you want to do as an investor, if you have money to invest, is just to sit around.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to park your money.
Don't park that money.
That's right.
And there's times where, you know, believe it or not, it may sound cliche, but there's times where an on-market deal becomes an off-market deal. Right?
Cliche.
So there's times where we'll see a portfolio, you know, 12 properties for 800,000, $1 million, whatever the number is. And we'll have interest. Walk through the properties. Something don't add up. Maybe we make an offer based on our calculations. They come back a month later, 2 months later. Hey, you know, we're all set. Fine. 3 months after that, the actual realtor that listed the property will say, hey, listen, the owner took it off the market, but the offer you made, does that still stand?
That's
no. What was you saying? Today's
Absolutely
price,
love that. I love that example.
today's price is not tomorrow's price.
Today's price. Yesterday's price is not today's price.
There we go.
Price.
There we go.
But I love that you say that. That's a great example.
Yeah.
So like you might shoot your shot.
No, I've had it happen. Had it happen.
And it may not work then, but 3 months later they come back around for whatever reason it may be. Yep. And they might go, you still interested in that? And now it's off market, and now you can take your time with it, analyze it again if you need to, whatever it may be. Or like just Jerry would say, lowball them a little bit, take a little bit of sauce off of it because you didn't.
At the end of the day, that sounds like yesterday's price is not today's price. That's what it sounds like to me.
Right. So
I said it wrong, but you said it right, baby. You said it right.
No, but to your point though, that's a whole fact because this is real life. I have a couple stories like that I can go into this, but this is just one that sticks out in my brain. Property came on. It was like I don't remember. It was either 12 or 15 units. I'm not sure.
You remember?
Yeah, I think I remember. It was either remember. Units that I remember. And so you figure out the number you want to pay, whatever, you go through the property, you realize, okay, there's only one boiler, you pay the utilities, factor in all the numbers. Okay, this is the most I could pay you. You make the offer verbally. Made the offer verbally. Realtor was like, nah, owner doesn't want to take that. Great. Have a nice day. Great. This is it. Have a nice life. Walk away. 2-3 months later, hey, I know you were a player at the time. Just so you know, the realtor took it off the market. Excuse me, the owner took it off the market. But are you still interested at that number? Tell me more.
And your conversation would be?
Tell me more. So, number one would be, are you still charging your 3%, 5%, 4%, 6%? Number one, not that it matters to me because I care because I'm going to pay, because at the end of the day, the seller pays that.
Correct.
But I consider that in my offer.
Tell us why.
So if I was going to pay you $500,000.
Yo, D, tell them the jewels. Right.
So if I was going to pay you $500,000 before, right? Considering 6% selling concession or 6%, realtor fees. That changes my offer. 40 grand, 50 grand. If you're only willing to accept a flat fee as a realtor. So if I was going to offer 500, knowing that the realtor, the seller was going to have to pay the realtor 60,000, really what I'm giving him is 440. So now if we can make an agreement with you as a realtor to pay you a flat fee of 30 grand, my offer now goes from that to this because I negotiated that. Yesterday's price is not today's price.
So are you saying that you can negotiate with the realtor or a realtor?
1,000%. 1,000%. Especially if they're a broker. If they're just the realtor that works for a company, you don't really have a lot of leeway. But if you're talking to a broker, which on a bigger deal, 12, 15, 20 units, 9 times out of 10, you're dealing with a broker who has a lot of, they can move the numbers whatever the way they want.
All right. So let
me before that. Even if they're a realtor that works for a big name company, you could still negotiate. They just have to run it before their broker, and they have to agree. Their broker has to agree to it before you can move forward. But it's
right. Right. So, and I'm gonna touch on that. I don't want to deep dive into realtors today, but if you have a realtor that you work with a lot, you can tell them, hey, listen, I know it's usually 6%, but I want to do 5% if I'm going to keep, buying off of you. And I guess you give the seller 3%, you take 2%. But your 2%. It happened. Trust me, I know.
No, you could do it.
I know someone that does it 1,000,000%.
100. You're not wrong at all. You're not wrong at all. It depends on the size of the magnitude of the deal is going to determine everything. Right.
There's factors. 100%.
Yeah. So if you're talking about if you buy in a house for 50,000, there's not a lot of room. Right.
Right. But if you're buying houses for $250,000, $300,000,
$1,000, and this is what it's going to be. If you're buying a house for $250,000, $500,000, obviously things change. 10 million, whatever. That's a whole nother conversation as far as
yeah. I don't want to deep dive too much.
Because I was about to go to a different place, but I'm just saying.
You guys talking that talk today. Oh, good.
Yeah. We outside today.
Yeah, we
see that. I see that. You doing walkthroughs and stuff like that right now. Go ahead.
So when you look at it, I want to stance one more time. I want to be very clear. It's not really MLS versus off market deals. Okay, it's not so much a versus thing. You're comparing, what the pros are for one, what the pros are for the other, but both should be utilized.
Absolutely,
both should be utilized.
Absolutely,
because you're gonna miss out if you don't utilize both of them.
I would never say pick. You better be using both of them. Both of them what benefits you 100%.
You can just pick both.
Devil's advocate is some people will not take advantage of off market. There's some people who will not refuse to purchase any property that they cannot use their realtor to represent them. That's a fact. They will just not do it. I don't care if it's almost free. If my realtor can't represent me in this deal, I don't want to do the deal. That's just a fact.
Right.
But
and some people have their ways.
Yeah, some people it's either or. So we're not gonna dwell on we have to have realtors and we don't. You pick which one you want. But absolutely. I got what you're saying.
The way.
Absolutely.
You don't need a realtor. What you need is an attorney.
I got a question. Off market deals and on market deals, on market and off market. What is the biggest difference?
Your fees.
And what you can for. I mean, you can get it for lower than market value usually.
Time.
I don't know. Maybe when I say that, now I don't want them to kill me in the comments. Maybe in this temperature at this time, maybe not.
It really depends on the magnitude of the market. But essentially, what it boils down to is your fees. Is the fees you pay. The reason why, if I have a single family property that I'm trying to get top dollar for, because I want an owner occupant to purchase it, I'm gonna list it in the MLS.
100%.
I'm gonna put it on the MLS, right? If I have a single family, devil's advocate, that I need to get rid of yesterday. Like I got to get rid of it as is. As is a big thing because now I may not be able to get FHA approval.
Right.
It needs to be done.
It's gotta be a cash only deal.
No, cash only. So now I got to put it on an off market deal. So
that's where the discount comes in.
Exactly. To Lance's point. Now, bigger deals, right? We're talking bigger deals now. Now you got, 8, 10, 15, 20 unit, 100 unit properties. You don't have to put those on the market.
Right.
You put a 8, 10, 20, 100 mark. You know how much you're going to pay in realtor fees? You don't have to do that. What you got to do, not what you got to do, but what most people are doing is they're contacting the top realtors that sell those type of properties in those neighborhoods and telling them, hey, listen, I got this $1.4 million deal, 100 units or 80 units. I'll pay you a flat 2%. Tell your buyers that I got it. You find me a buyer, I pay you 2%. Off market.
That's the reason why I asked. That was my segue, Greg. Right. That off market deal could be as is or a gem at the same time. So
you telling me he hit a home run?
You did.
He pitched it. You hit it. Whatever example that means. Whatever that means.
Whatever that means.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm on my game. Sometimes I'm not. Right now, who knows? But what I will say is that that is a perfect way to explain it. You could have something off market that's as is, and you can't really put it on the MLS because it's not habitable or anything like that. Where
needs some TLC to it,
right? Needs a lot of TLC. So you're trying to get rid of it. You sell it, under market value, because it needs fixes, it needs TLC, like you said, and then you like the bigger point. You might have a whole $1.4 million complex that you're trying to get rid of, and you're not trying to pay those crazy realtor fees. So what do you do?
I've seen a deal like that, exactly what you're saying, fail. You had a full price offer. The owner wants 1.4 million. Seller offers 1.4 million. The buyer offers 1.4 million. The seller and his realtor off market, they agreed on a deal handshake before the price. Then when the offer was given, they couldn't agree on it on paper. To refer back to our partnership, episode, right? Where everything, hey, gotta have paperwork. But I've seen it. I've been a part of that. So I actually found the deal. I actually found and it was like, it fell in my lap. I found the deal because it was an investment of another property. Hey, I got this other property over here that me and my brother, we can't see eye to eye. We got to get rid of, but it's a very expensive property. You probably don't know nobody who wants it because there's a lot of work that needs to be done. Let me go see it for shits and giggles. Let me go see it. I go see it. I'm like, bro, I got a buyer like right now.
Tomorrow.
Like right now. I called, made some calls. He flew in, saw it, loved it. I never forget the shit. We sat down at Applebee's with one brother because the other brother couldn't make it because he got drunk and didn't show up. Sat down with the brother. This is a true story. Made a full price offer to the brother. The brother was like, okay, I got to talk to my brother. He went home to his brother. That night he couldn't do it. The next morning, he told his brother what the offer was. The next day, he was like, we accept. Probably like a week later, our realtor doesn't want to agree to our terms. They offered him 2% on 1.4 mil.
Right.
He didn't do nothing. I met the guy.
That's crazy.
I met the guy.
Said no.
The realtor did zero. He did absolutely zero. I met the guy through a double that he wanted me to manage. And then I linked the whole deal up. At the end of the day, the buyer ended up doing me right. He ended up giving me a percentage of the deal. The buyer did, not the seller.
Nice.
Right, because I found him a deal. And that was our relationship. That was kind of sort of our partnership. I find him a deal, he'll give me a percentage of the deal. So I'm like his agent, but at a certain percentage. I understood that. That's what happened. So he bought that 1.4 million. He ended up getting it, eventually, but that was the beginning of a deal. So
there it is, man.
So the realtor was mad that he was going to get 28,000.
Yeah.
For doing nothing.
Nothing. He wanted like 40 something thousand or like 41,000 or 42,000. He was at like 4%. He was stuck at 4%.
Well, that's why we got to be very clear. Yeah, go back and watch that partnership podcast that we have.
Yeah, and
listen, guys. Once again, that's MLS versus off-market properties. I would tell you this: we covered a lot today, and I definitely appreciate you guys. Want to add in anything else? I think we covered a lot today. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I'll just add in. Once again, MLS is not a bad thing. Off market is not a bad thing. It's for your liking. It's what you want to do, but both of them will work for you at the end of the day. One would will benefit you if you're trying to get a great deal, and that's off market, and the other one would everybody sees, but you could work with your realtor to get a great deal. So both ways is a way you get buy any property, investment property.
Got to utilize both.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That would be my twist. My twist is that, depending on where you go, the scale you're at and your purchase process, you're going to get to a point where you're going to utilize both. There's going to get to a point where I can't just do everything off MLS because what I'm looking for is not on MLS. So don't be afraid. You know what I mean? Don't be afraid. Don't be bashful. Don't limit yourself. Either way, you can't lose. At the end of the day, it's a deal. Whether you pay realtor fees or you pay a wholesale fee or you pay an off market, whatever that looks like, a deal is a deal. Take advantage of it. Don't be afraid of it. Either way, as long as you have an attorney involved, you can't lose.
And I guess I would add this into, there's a lot of portfolios out there that don't make it to the MLS. So, you know, if you're looking to buy a group of
portfolios,
I mean, that's what I do. Right at the end, I drop the mic on them. You know, that's what I do, guys. Sit back and relax. I got the podcast. Sit back and relax. I got it. You know, back to my portfolios. You know, so there's portfolios that you won't see on the MLS and that you won't have access to. That will be an off-market deal that a realtor or, you know, whatever connections you have may have that. So if you're looking to buy 6, 7, 8 properties grouped up in one, off-market is probably how you're going to get that.
Yeah.
All right. So I appreciate you once again, H.G.R.G family. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.
Salute.
Yeah. What they say? I'm so divine, I'm so divine. Imperfection, perfection, my presence shines. My mental is parasailing maritime. They say I'm destined to read the palm line. Yeah, I'm so divine, I'm so divine. Imperfection, perfection, my presence shines.